Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats, for the show is about to begin. Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi Showbie with me, Richard Vobes, live in front of you. And we have another exciting show lined up for you. Oh, yes, very nice of you to join me on a Sunday evening, the Lord's Day. Hope you've all been to church going, "Oi, open up, would ya? Let us in, come on, be fair. Got some praying to do. Can't do it outside." "Oh, no, not with all these dead people lying around with their tombstones sticking up in the air. Oh, no, can't have that. Come on, let us in, for goodness sake. Come on, we can't hang about. I'm not going down in the crypt on my own. Phew, not tonight, not in the crypt tonight, not with Superman in the crypt tonight. Woo, that could be a nightmare." Anyway, I think we managed to get that joke well and truly done. Anyway, good evening to you. Lovely to see you. Yes, I was going to say I'm on form, but if I say that, of course, it's all going to go pear-shaped, isn't it? Anyway, hello to the lovely Jeff Kellison. Hello, lovely Jeff Kellison. Hello, lovely Julia. Hello, lovely Julia. Hello, lovely Linda Kane. Hello, lovely Linda Kane. Hello to Ernie. Hello to Roy Ballinger. Good evening, good evening, good evening. John Robinson. Robinson? Who's John Robinson? John Richardson, even. John Richardson, good evening to you. Roy, Ron, I told you I wasn't on for. I told you. As soon as I said that, it's all going to go pear-shaped. Roy Ballinger, John Richardson, Ron Langley. Get them all in the right order and we'll be all right. There we go. Ed Ovett, he says, "Thanks, Richard, for these daily shows. Just how many viewers in the USA do you have that you know of?" Well, there's you, Ed Ovett. There's John Berger. There's Barbara Charles. There is Jeff Kellison, of course. Wilf. We've got Wilf. Wilf Meyer is, and he's on the show tonight. Let's hope he's out there. Who else? That I know of. I'm probably going to forget all of them now. There's quite a few. And from Australia, and from the Outer Hebrides, and from down there in Bournemouth, I dare say. They may not have told me. Andy Dalgleish, hello to you. Days of Yore, nice to see to you. Glastonbury, evening. Now, here, Gabriel, I've got a question for you. You must have rushed off because I did ask you in the show. You showed us your lovely, lovely, lovely drone shots flying around, and then there was this big castle up on a promontory with a staircase going up, and the camera flew up like this. And I thought, where is it? Where is it? Because I'd like to go there. Is it in the UK? Or is it, as it's been suggested to me, somewhere in Europe? I'd like to know where that is. If you did mention it, I must have not seen it. Anyway, Mark G is there. Good evening, Mark G. And Steve G is also there. G with two E's on the end of his, as the other G as not. Gee whiz, there's a lot of G's tonight. And Charlie Cooper. Hello, everyone. Sorry I haven't been on the chat for the last few days. Watch the repeats, though. Hope everyone's all right. Well, I think we're all right, but thank you very much for coming along, and it's nice to have the apology there in writing. Did your mum make you do that, did she? You can be honest with me. Ernie, "Afraid not, Linda. It was too much for me. Was very touched by you and your fellow Vobie comments." Oh, that's because we're talking about he's not ringing up ever again. He's gone off me now. He hates my guts. Mind you, my guts, I've smelt them. Not so nice. Beatwriter, hello to you. And, yes, so there we are. Beatwriter, there's another one. Lovely Julia. Ed Loud, hello Ed. Andrew Norris, what ho Vobsters, he says. Richard Upton, greetings from Surrey. Rob Kin, I Nelson, I one arm. And Leslie Couch, lovely to see. Where in Sussex? Here we go. Where in Sussex? How do you get away with doing your videos? What do you mean, how do I get away with doing my videos? What I do is there's a red button and I press it and it videos what happens to be in front of the lens. It says, I drove to work and put on a Facebook group that I have driven across Ashdown Forest without explaining it was for the key worker and almost got lynched. What you should have done was videoed yourself going across there and they could see the important work that you were doing, Steve Pilfold. They could see that you were there clambering up onto the signal, trying to make the blooming red thing go up at the right angle to stop the train. In fact, taking off your knickers and standing on the line, waving in front of the tunnel. Don't go into the tunnel. Don't. I know I'm not a child anymore, but there's a chuff-chuff train coming the other way. Please, please. Or something like that. It's often a good way. Hello to Barry Stevens. Hello to Elfwold. To Mark Selwood. That's beautiful, isn't it? And to Connor's Dark Corner, David Kitchen, Tracy Murphy, and the others who are signing in all the time. Now, before we go any further, yesterday we said we were going to cook live on the show corn dogs. The lovely Linda Kane rushed out as soon as she heard them. She thought, oh, I must buy some of those. And she bought 6 tons of them. All for herself, but she managed it at the bottom of the barrel. She found one slightly dodgy old basket, no, not even basket, box, that's the word, and she thought, I know, the old Vobie One-Eye Kenobi could do with that, so she rushed over to my house in her lovely sports car, because there's nobody on the roads, all the way from Angmering, and she whizzed up past my house and said, here are Vobes, take those, but don't breathe on me. I'm off. Voom, 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 voom. And away she went, as you can imagine. She is a speedy lady, is that Linda Kane. And so, anyway, Jeff Kellison said, and we were going to cook them up on the skillet, and we were going to do all that. And then Jeff had some phone calls from his mates, and they said, whatever you do, don't do that. It'll fall to bits. It's going to be a nightmare. It'll burn. It won't be nice. Cook them as they are, as the instructions. So that has been exactly what I've done. I've shoved them in the oven for 20 minutes. And here, ladies and gentlemen, here are the corn dogs. That is them. Okay? They look like little drumsticks. Nip, 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 I am a Dalek. Exterminate! I obey! You must kill the doctor! I will kill the doctor! You must obey! I do obey! Exterminate! Exterminate! Kill the doctor! Kill the doctor! I obey! You don't want to do that if you've got a sore throat. So I'm going to try these now, ladies and gentlemen. They smell, I don't know what they smell of. They smell like fish fingers, to be honest with you. I've no idea what's in them, so I don't know what you can see in it. It is it's sausage covered. Oh, it's disgusting. Covered by a bit of batter. And I did read the 422,000 different ingredients that go up to making one of these, and I think pork was not on there at all. I think it was sort of some reconstituted meat substitute grown in a petri dish in a sewage farm. But the other thing we were going to do, of course, we were going to make them taste a little bit better with some HP sauce. And if you look on there very carefully, you can see the Houses of Parliament. Bum, bum, bum. There we are. Look, the Houses of Parliament. Well, that's Big Ben anyway. So let's try a little bit of that. Will that improve the flavour? We will ask ourselves. Get some of this. There's not much left in the thing, but we'll ooze it on. Oh, yeah. Much nicer. Need a bit of that on there, don't we? Anyway, these apparently are Jeff's favourite dinners. Favourite dish. Yum. I will regurgitate the others later. But thank you so much, Linda Kane, for that suggestion. If anyone wants to rush out and buy me a new tin of this, of course, Very little left in it. Well, at least they're cooked. 20 minutes in an oven, baked up, and they taste all right. Sausage, but not as we know it, says Linda Kane. Exactly. I mean, you don't get much sausage on there, to be fair. You get a bit of a stick, which will go back into the essay. I can tell you, none of this will be regurgitated. Or certainly not eaten afterwards. I did say they would be horrible. You did say that, Glastonbury. Did you say where that place is? Hang on a minute. I want to find out if you said where that lovely that building is. Let's have a look. Where is Glastonbury Gabriel? Oh, he's changed his name. Glastonbury Gabriel. Now, let's have a look. Where did... Corn dogs, Glastonbury... did you say where it was? I'm trying to find if you... Where in... No, ignore him. Where is that building? Did you get that message about... I still want to know where that are. Toffee apples. Yeah, they do look a bit like toffee apples, Linda Kane. Jonathan Beluzic. Hello to you. Lovely to see you there, Jonathan Beluzic. Stir Crazy. Always wondered what corn dogs were like. Well, they're sort of weak liver-lilied sausages covered in enormous amounts of some kind of... What would you call it? Stuff that, you know, gristle. I did say that it would be horrible. Yeah, can't make it work. Where is that? Where is that? Oh, here we go. Trotsky Castle. Where is Trotsky Castle? Gonna have to look that up now. Trotsky. Can I highlight that? I wonder if I can highlight that. Trotsky Castle. Copy. Oh, I can. Hang on a second. I'm going to find out where that is. Trotsky Castle. Paste that in here. Press return, and let's see where it is. I'll tell you anything. Oh, yeah, there it is. Is a castle 10 minutes south of Seemly in the Czech Republic. That's no good, is it? That's not in the UK. I didn't think it was in the UK. What a shame. What an absolute shame. What a swizz showing us that. And it's not even available for us to go to. I'm bitterly disappointed. However, I have got the corn dogs swathed in... Wait. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if for any chance I don't manage to get a video out tomorrow, because I've suddenly been struck ill eating these corn dogs. That is, quite honestly, that is quite repulsive. That is quite repulsive. Never mind. I'm afraid I won't be eating that one. 2 of those has made me feel ill. But never mind, ladies and gentlemen. Never mind, because I want to show you something much more exciting. But thank you very much, Linda. That was very kind of you to do it. It was a great experiment, and I feel so great over it. But have a look at this. Ta-da! Do you know what that is? That, ladies and gentlemen, ta-da! That is bread. That is bread of heaven. I made this today, ladies and gentlemen. Feast your sexy eyes over that. This is what I call bread. Not the other stuff I was making. This is what I call bread. Look at that. Came out the oven. Came out my... No, I know you think you bought that, didn't you, at Morrison's. No. I have made this, okay? I'll show you that the size against my head is that big. Hello, yes. Caller. And that came out my oven. Donny McLeod says, Richard takes one for the show. You couldn't catch me eating that much. Wow, look at that bread. Now, I have to say, Mark Donny McLeod, I have to say, this is not your recipe. I know. Do you know, I had 4 loaves. I've done 4 attempts with the other one. And the last one, I put too much oil in. It was greasy and it was just hideous. And I thought, there's got to be another way. And it's not that I don't trust you, Mark Donny McLeod. You're a lovely bloke, and I love you immensely. I could cuddle up to you for ages. However, I did go online to see if there was something I was doing wrong or something that... And there was a different recipe, and it was this recipe. And where you said don't need it, you don't need to knead it, this one said need for 15 minutes. So I kneaded it for 15 minutes. And then I had to prove it 3 times in total. And this has been the result. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take a slice of my own bread. I have a feeling that my oven was too hot because it was cooked outside too quickly, and so I'm not sure that it's cooked all the way through. I haven't yet mastered the baking part of it. I personally think it's too heavy, and although it sounds hollow, I think it's a bit dense on the inside. I still think there's more to be mastered, but from an aesthetics point of view, it looks very lovely. We have a shop, says Kevin Rambles in Midhurst, called Bread of Heaven. Amazing bread. Well done, Richard, says Leslie Couch. Thank you very much. Nice looking loaf. You're talking about me now, aren't you? Loafing about. Looks delicious, says the lovely Julia. Nice loaf. Thank you very much. That's creepy, says Mark. Mark. So what do you mean that's creepy? Well done, Richard. Hang on. It only looks nice now. I'm going to open it up and have a look at it properly. You need a Hitachi power toaster, one that use like in the hotels. Oh, what, those ones that just go like this and continually, they must cost them an absolute fortune. They leave those on all day. Linda Cadman says, corn dogs disappointing. Love the loaf. What's happened to Martin Snow? Haven't seen him for ages. Where he's gone? Golly, lots of different thoughts all in one sentence. I don't know how you managed to do that, Linda. Very, very clever of you. What a bloomer, says Graham Roffey. And yes, need and less like a batter bread. Days of yore are, but do you still need it? I do need it now. I'm looking very hungry. Anyway, so there we are. Always knock. Does it knock? Says Mark. I don't know when you say does it knock. Depends where you knock it. I think it's too heavy at the moment. I think, when I take a loaf off the bread, it feels still a bit solidy. So I think I had the oven too hot. Very difficult with the Essie to, he said about 220 degrees, and I think my oven was about 600 degrees, or whatever you call it, because it just gets hot, my oven. It's very difficult. I've got to get the balance right. Anyway, thank you very much for all the comments about that. Richard, the derelict farm workers cottage in North Lane, Whiston, is apparently on the market for $365,000. Needs the same amount of money spent to renovate it, says Mike. Oh, this is where he went yesterday and rang us up about it. Oh, you rang him up. $365,000. Now, if everybody could just cough up about what are you saying? About 700,000, isn't it? And then I would have enough money to buy this lovely cottage and enough money to do it up. I think I'm sure you could all chuck in a quid, couldn't you? There must be enough. If there was 700,000 of you watching, we all chuck in a quid, we could move the studio to a nice new cottage. Don't think that's going to happen. We're going to go and put a video on because we've got some lovely videos in today's show. Then we'll go to the calls. How about that? That would be great because I know that there's loads of you gagging to ring. And after the first video, I'll take a slice of I'll take the crust off the loaf and we'll see whether it's cooked or not. I guess the real thing is whether it's cooked in the middle, not so much at the end. But anyway, never mind. Let's go into the video box. There we go. We've got all sorts of things. But I'm going to start, first of all, with a newcomer. A newcomer, ladies and gentlemen. Wilf Meyer has sent in a video. He has gone on a Pitt Meadow ride. Pitt River? Pittsburgh? Pitts? Yes. It's a lovely, lovely site. He explains it better than me. It's fantastic. Have a look at this. Where are you, Wilf? Oh, there you are. This is great.
Hi, Richard and others. Wilf Meyer here. I just finished a 16-kilometer ride, and I was so inspired by you and others to film it. So that's what I've done, and that's what follows. Thanks. I live in British Columbia in the city of Maple Ridge, which is about 40 kilometers west of Vancouver. To get to the trail, there's a short ride through some industrial areas. The Pitt River Greenway Trail runs west along the Fraser River and then north along the Pitt River before looping back into town. that's it for this ride. Thanks, everyone.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't that nice? All the way from Canada. Fantastic. Thanks, Wilf. Love the big, wide, purple farmland there. I don't know what the crop was, but it looked fantastic. So thank you so much. Yeah, no, great. And inspired by everybody doing their videos. So that's just so marvellous. Thank you very much. Phone lines will now be open, ladies and gentlemen. You're very much welcome to ring into the show. 0793 4746 790 is the number to call, as I know you'll be eager to do that. And while somebody is going, shall I? Oh, sod it. Yes, I'm going to go and ring the old Vobie. I'm going to get the knife out here, and I'm going to slice up the cake. Not the cake, the bread. So let's just see whether... Oh, it's a bit wibbly wobbly there. This actually looks like bread. How about that? Look. That actually looks like bread. For once. Doesn't that? That's just amazing. That actually looks like bread. And by golly, it smells like bread. And that is that's, you know, I made this. I'm going to have to try the taste. Obviously, I'm going to put a little knob of butter on. A little knob of butter. I know a groovy place. Here we go. Shove a bit of butter on here. Who's going to give me a ring this evening to start us off and give us a bit of a chit-chat and what you're up to and what's on your mind? What's on your mind, eh? What's on your mind? I've just dropped the cloth on the floor. Tomorrow, by the way, video-wise, I've got some bluebells for you. The lovely Linda Kane advised me where to go. I went where she said and filmed some bluebells. So, not terribly original, but, you know, needed to be done. Got it out the way. Need to think of somewhere to go tomorrow now. Bit of jam on this. Oh, that's rather a lot of jam, but hey-ho. I'm going to put some of that back. Shush, don't tell anybody. There we go. Excuse me. Trying to get rid of that COVID. What did he say? What did he say? I jest, of course. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at that. What do you think? There we go. And that is a slice of bread. I know. Do you know, I went into Morrison's 2 days ago and just checked out the flour situation. Do you know what they've got on the shelf? I have never seen this in a supermarket on the flour section, but clearly people are buying flour like there's no tomorrow. There were sacks the size of fertiliser bags for flour. I have never seen that. Clearly people are buying them in large quantities. £9. Mark Donny McLeod, do you think that's worth the money? £9 for a great big bag of flour. I imagine it must last quite some time. Well, just as I got my mouth full, we have a caller. We've got a mouth.
Here from Bath.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, who's that? Sorry, I missed the opening bit.
No worries. It's Carl from Bath again.
Hello, Carl from Bath.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Oh, good. I've just
been doing a spot of gardening today.
Oh, have you had nice hot weather over where you are in Bath?
Yeah, it's been nice and sunny. Yeah.
We've had it sunny.
Oh, that's good.
Which I think is across the country. Though I'm told we've got rain coming.
Coming, yeah, this week I think.
Do you know when?
I'm not sure, but some point this week I think.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we need it for the gardens, but
yeah.
You know, I've got into this lull of this false sense of it being summer in April.
Yeah, it's been very nice.
It has been nice.
But it is nice for the rain because it sort of it clears the air.
That's true. And lots of people's gardens are going to need a bit of watering, free water. Yeah. We don't want hosepipe bans. I mean, if this went on, of course, you know what they say.
Not a hosepipe ban, no.
And yet we had all that, you know, I remember, you know, it wasn't that a couple of months ago, we had all that rain, floods and this, that and the other. I mean, it's one extreme to the other.
It is, yeah.
And then we've got a pandemic as well.
Yeah, Mother Nature.
We just wonder what the next thing is they're going to throw at us. We've had sort of almost a drought. We've almost had rain. We've almost had a pandemic. I suppose locusts would be next. There would be. I mean, I've had ants, an invasion of ants. That's not quite locusts, but
No.
I just wonder what the next thing. Have you ever made any bread?
I haven't. No.
Oh,
Saying that,
hmm.
I tell a lie. I have made bread in the past. Soda bread.
Oh, soda
Yeah,
bread.
sort of. Yeah, Irish soda bread.
Well, I must have a go at that. This is. I have to say, I am so over the moon with my bread that I have made myself. I feel like a king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks very good.
And it is delicious. Yeah. It is delicious, but I can't eat it whilst I'm talking to you. So what? Well, now you must have rung over a week ago.
I think so, something like that.
So
Yeah.
what else have you been up to in all that time?
There's not a lot to do really.
No, that's the trouble.
I've had to do a few errands for family.
Yes.
Elderly members of the family being in lockdown, so I've had to do my errands, running about doing their shopping for them.
And are they all okay?
Yeah, they're all okay. Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Because we don't want
So
we don't want any more bad news.
No, we're trying to keep everyone safe. So
Yeah, definitely. Did you you weren't out running the marathon? I gathered that there was supposed to be a marathon today, and everyone's been, so I hear on the news, they've been taking 26 as a number to do this, that, and the other. Have you done any of that?
No, a marathon. No.
No.
Is that supposed to be the London one?
I think yes, right over that London plate. You might have heard of it. It's a conurbation with lots of people in it, with a few bridges over a small stream.
Yeah.
It's not as nice as Bath,
No.
with that lovely crescent and the
It is, yeah.
and the wonderful Roman baths where the soap is free. I don't know whether that's true. I may have made that bit up. But yeah, no, you'll have to go out with a camera and send us some pictures from Bath.
I know, and unfortunately, I haven't got any good equipment. The only thing I've got is my phone. So I'd have to try and give it a go.
Well, that would be lovely. I mean, even on the phone, even if it's just a few seconds worth of you coming out of one of the houses at the Royal Crescent with your top hat and tails. And a nice carriage, because I'm sure that's what they all still dress in down there, don't they?
You do see quite a few people around that do dress up.
Oh, do they?
Obviously, I have seen many videos on YouTube of people that live in the era, so they dress like that all day, every day.
All day, every day. Blimey, they just live the period.
Yeah. And there's other periods that they sort of people out there that live as well, 50s, 60s.
Yes.
So it's very interesting.
It is funny, isn't it? Because you can look at the periods like the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, the 20s, maybe, a bit bigger than the Georgian period, the Victorian period, and you can know what people know what they are. These days, though, if you look at people today, it's such a mishmash of
fashion.
Yes, what would you can look at the 80s and go, oh yeah, big hair, bell bottoms, or that was the 70s, I suppose. And you wonder what it is. What would you say is the fashion of today? It's I'm not very fashionable, but you can look at certain periods and you just instantly go, oh yes, that's the 50s, and it's got a distinct look.
Definitely, yeah.
And some much better than others. Have you got a favourite period of time?
For fashion and what people look like, I would say the 50s. Pin-up girls and that sort of stuff.
You like your pin-up girls, do you?
So, yeah, it's quite nice, really, and it's nice to see people that are still living like that today.
Yes, absolutely.
Because if they didn't, it would be in the past.
That's true. And it's nice to hold on to something that means something to you. Because I think a lot of people just follow the fashion because they don't know, they haven't really thought about it.
No.
They just, we all go into the shop and we just go, well, that's a nice jacket, and those trousers are all right.
Yeah,
Men.
you sort of mix match and chuck it on.
Yeah, I mean, men are the worst, aren't they? Really, because men can just wear the same old crap day in, day out.
Yeah.
Whereas women, of course, feel a bit more of the pressure to wear something slightly different every day.
Yeah.
Because they feel they're being judged by other women, I think, mostly.
Yeah. If you wear the same thing more than twice, then people start to look at you. Well,
yeah.
With us men, that's not the case. We sort of chuck on whatever's, on the side, and we go out.
That's it. And often, I mean, I hate shopping for clothes. I absolutely hate it because I can never know whether is this something that is my style?
Suits you.
Yeah, suits me. Does this suit me? And I used to have to take whoever was a woman, usually like my ex-wife or an ex-girlfriend. I would take them and say, look, you've got to come with me because I haven't a clue. And also they had an opinion on what clothes I should wear as well. And I knew if I went on my own, they would. And I went, oh, that's a nice jacket. I thought, I wonder if so and so will like that. No, they're not going to like that. And then I was dressing for them, not for me.
Yeah, but women do have a good sense of style and fashion. So
yes.
it is good that if you do have either a friend that is a woman or a partner, it's always good for them to be around because they tell you what to wear.
That's right, absolutely. And in the end, you're mainly pleasing them anyway. So you may, because I suppose the only thing is I'm slightly wary because when I'm making my videos, obviously I don't want to look like a complete tramp,
No,
or a vagabond.
Of course not. No.
So I'm slightly aware of the look that the Bald Explorer's trying to present, but that sometimes goes a bit haywire depending on how much washing needs to be done.
Yeah, but your style seems to be okay.
Thank you very much.
A shirt and a jumper is nice, and your blazers are nice as well. So.
And sometimes I even wear trousers.
Well, when you sat behind the desk,
well,
it doesn't matter.
Today, no, I haven't got any trousers on today. I just, got to keep cool somehow.
Yeah, especially when you had that essay on all day.
Oh, I know. There we are. You see, that can warm up your nether regions very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I do actually have some. I've got some basic jeans, which are cheap and cheerful, and as
jeans are good.
They're all right, aren't they?
Yeah, they've been around for a long time, so why not?
I have been buying some jeans which I quite like, but they keep going in the crotch area.
Crotch, yeah.
And they're sort of slightly elasticated. I don't quite know why they're elastic. It's obviously got some sort of elastication in them, and they're quite nice, but they're relatively cheap. I'm not going to buy them anymore because you could get two for the price of 1.5, I think, from Debenhams. And not that I'm pushing any names or anything.
No.
But I have bought very expensive jeans. When I very first started doing the Bald Explorer, I bought some very expensive, well, what I call very expensive, 85 quid for a pair of jeans.
Blimey, yeah, I would say that's expensive.
I would. You see, again, I was persuaded to do this by a woman. She said, no, buy these. These are camel or something. Camel jeans. I said, well, if it's got 2 umps in it, I'm not wearing it.
No.
But they were, I have to say, they didn't ever lose their shape, and they did last a hell of a long time, and they did look nice.
Yeah.
But 85 quid for a pair of. I mean, up until then, I was paying something like 25 quid for a pair of jeans. Yeah. I only did it once, so.
No, but obviously, you bought the quality, but sometimes nowadays you don't just buy the quality. All you're buying is the name.
Yes.
You're just paying for the name.
And it's very hard to know, isn't it, whether you're buying quality or because it might have a name.
Yeah.
And you think, is it the name I'm buying or is it the quality? And will it last? And will, when I wash them, they just sort of change shape?
It's difficult to judge, really.
And you know what it is when you get a jumper that you love,
Yeah.
and you have a jumper and it starts to get a few holes in it, and you think, I wish I bought 2 of those jumpers.
Yeah.
But then you never do it, do you? You never go,
No.
this is a jumper I'm going to love and I'm going to regret not buying 2. You never actually do that.
You don't know.
Because you don't know, that's right. And then when you
No,
want to go
yeah.
back... So have you got any jumpers like this? Oh, no, they don't do them anymore. All right, thanks.
I hate it when that happens.
It is annoying.
You find something you love, clothing, and you think, oh, I'll go back and buy more. But
Yes.
you go back and they've stopped that line.
And they've stopped it. Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
But hey-ho, they won't... I don't think they're going to stop doing the Harris tweed jackets, although they're incredibly expensive, I have to say.
No.
But...
I do like quick tweed, but I don't own any.
No, and you can only wear them at certain times of the year anyway, because now it's far too warm.
Yeah.
They get very hot. But anyway, so nice. Thank you so much for calling in again.
Well, thank you. Well, it's nice to be on the show again.
Ring any time.
And it's nice to see everyone with their videos and the comments coming through. So,
are you in the chat? Are you in the chat, chatting away?
I'm not.
No,
I still haven't joined the chat because at the moment I don't have my own channel.
Oh right.
I think you've got to have a channel to be able to join the chat.
Ah right.
So I'll have to come up with a good name for a channel and start doing videos.
Yeah, I don't think you have to do any videos as such. I think you can. I'm not quite sure. Watch the chat because people will know.
Yeah.
Do you have to... I'll ask them. Here we go. Do you have to have a YouTube account in order to comment on these live videos? We'll see what they say. Keep an eye out.
I do have a YouTube account because obviously I subscribe to you to get notifications when you put a new video up.
Oh right. Well, you should find that you can comment.
Yeah.
If you wish. You don't.
Obviously, at the moment, while the live video's going on, I can see comments coming through,
Hmm.
but afterwards they disappear.
They do disappear for a while. Apparently, it takes a bit of time for, I don't know why, YouTube
Processing,
to process it. So I think, like a day later they're up, but because a number of people are watching perhaps a couple of hours later and then they can't see the comments. Excuse me.
Yeah.
No, everyone's saying no, you don't need to have a YouTube account. Apparently you can just watch and join in. So
Okay.
You just need to be signed in.
Okay. So today I potted on geraniums.
Oh, you potted geraniums. Lovely.
Yeah, red geraniums that I had seedlings. Then I put some tomato seeds in.
Oh, that'd be nice. Homemade. What variety of tomatoes? Because there's so many.
They're called Summerlast.
Oh, okay.
They're a patio variety, and they're resistant to blight. And what's the other one? I think it was just resistant to blight, really.
Yeah, nobody likes a bit of blight, do they?
No, and they're resistant to blight, and they're a patio variety. So, they're dwarf as well, so that it's like a bush variety.
Oh, right.
So they don't grow as tall; they stay at a good low level.
So the little hi-ho people can come in.
Yeah.
The little 7 dwarfs.
Yeah, and I put in some runner beans as well.
Oh, nice. So you're going to have a nice salad there then?
Yeah. I'm currently doing the tomatoes for my grandfather because he likes his tomatoes. But I'm not a big fan of tomatoes. But runner beans I am. And I currently go to an allotment group, so I'm very into gardening at the moment.
Do you follow Richard Suggett?
No, I haven't. No.
The Veg Grower Podcast. You should follow, check him out. Veg Grower Podcast, because he does. That's all he does. Is he, growing vegetables and allotments and all of that. It's very good.
Okay, yeah, I'll have a look. I'll look him up.
Yeah. No,
yes, thank you.
Nice chappy. Well, better go and play another video.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Wonderful to talk.
I don't want to take up all your time.
No, that's all right. Lovely to talk to you, and do call again.
I will do. Take care.
Take care. Look after yourself.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There we go. That was the lovely Carl, I think he said, from Bath, which is a lovely part of the world. Must go back to Bath. Desperate to go back there and see more of it. and about to check out the Veg Grower podcast. So always nice to recommend a friend. Apparently, I get 25 quid every time I recommend somebody to the Veg Grower podcast. Richard Suggett doesn't know that yet, but that's definitely on the cards. So there we go. And lots and lots of comments going there. You don't have to have a YouTube channel. Zach Pinsett is somebody that Julia and I met, who dresses up in Regency costumes all day long, even has Regency underwear, apparently. Andy Kendrick says, I have a Google account. You automatically sign into YouTube with that account if you've got a Google account. Oh, that's very good. Seems we're all talking about the vegetable thing here. So there we go. Anyway, let's go and quickly get on with another video. And before we go into the video, I just want to show you. Where did I put it? Oh yeah, I want to show you this. Do you remember yesterday we were talking to? I think it was yesterday or the day before. We were talking to lovely John and Dawn. Remember John and Dawn from Goring? Well, and John has a million, billion, trillion, Vince Hillian makes you quite Illian radios apparently, and these radios, they range from all sorts of things. And I said, oh, it'd be lovely to see some. He sent in a picture. Let's have a look. Here we are. Have a look at this. This is a small section of some of the radios he's got. And some of them are Crystal sets and others are Alistair sets. No, Crystal Tips and Alistair, I think that is. It's a bad joke. But here's a better picture laid out on the table. And if you look sort of midway to the right of the picture, I think you get... booby radio. Not quite sure what that is. What beautiful radios in all sorts of guises. Radios dressed as microphones, as pair of breasts I see there, and a whole load of different other things. So absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, John, for sending in your collection of pictures. And actually, I wonder if I could just zoom in a little bit. Hang on a minute. I'm just going to try. I'm just going to... Does this suit? Oh, this doesn't really work. Oh, no, wait a minute. Hang on. Wait. Just don't panic. No. Why is that not working? Which one am I doing? Oh, yeah. No, that one. I don't want that one. I want that one. Let me just... Hang on. Sorry. I'm fiddling. No. Still... What? No. That one off. This one. This is the one I want. I want to try and zoom in. Here we go. I've got it. I know what I'm doing. I do know what I'm doing. There. I don't know if you can see it. That's zoomed in a little bit on the radios. They're an unusual collection. Anyway, there they are. Just thought I'd show you that. That was quite nice. Let's If you collect unusual things, because people do collect unusual things, send us a picture with a bit of an explanation. Send it to my email address, richard@vobes.com, and tell me what it is that you collect, or you do something a bit weird. Or even better, make a video about it. That's always quite good. So, sorry, gone back into the video box here, and we did have, here we go. Let us, we were talking there. Let's go to Ed Loud. This is an interesting story that Ed's put together about how he discovered the Vobes. Now, you might want to just lock the doors and sit very still, and please, whatever you do, don't look out the window, because this might scare you, ladies and gentlemen. You need to concentrate a little bit.
It's the midnight hour here at Loud Towers. The shadows creeping ever closer, my brew keeping warm on the fire, as it calls for me to take a slurp. I, Ed Loud, have a story to share with you all. It begins one cold misty night in the Romney Marshes, sitting in the Ocean Inn of Dymchurch. Closing time was drawing near, and I noticed a poem. If you wake at midnight and hear a horse's feet, don't go drawing back the blind or looking in the street. Them that asks no questions isn't told a lie. Watch the wall, my darling, while the gentlemen go by. This was from Rudyard Kipling's A Smuggler's Song. On my way home, the mist swirled around me, drawing itself in from the marshes that had been my playground as a child. For a moment, I was dragged through the ghostly mists to times of old, where smugglers evaded the preventative men. When I arrived home, the marsh mists still clawing to me, my mind returned to the smugglers of old. I drew out my phone as fast as I could to see if there were any good tales to be had on YouTube. In my hurry, I didn't notice the cold, ancient fingers of mists trying to creep through the keyhole as I set myself before the fire to drive away the very mists that were wanting to join me. Whilst I supped my soup before turning in for the night, YouTube treated me to Richard Vobes as the bold explorer. In his special, Smugglers of the Romney Marshes, I was haunted by passages from a familiar poem, 25 ponies trotting through the dark, brandy for the parson, baccy for the clerk, laces for a lady, letters for a spy, and watch the wall, my darling, while the gentlemen go by. The coincidences mounted. The Vobes trundled down that very same lane twixt the marshes, where the mist had sought to divert me to its apparitions. What unholy necromancy it craved, I hope never to find out. Richard spoke of the owlers, their shady industry and murderous ways. He even found a smuggler hiding in a hedge, who, dare I say, looked very cosy. I was hooked, and over the months I watched everything Richard had uploaded. I learned he had even made a TV show I watched as a child. Perhaps that was why he felt so strangely familiar all along. How many more of you have a story about how you discovered the Vobes? Perhaps you could also share the tale.
There we go. How about that? That was amazing. Thank you so much, Ed. How lovely, how incredible, how creative. That was just wonderful. Thank you for putting that together. I noticed Julia said it was quite quiet. The sound was just... Ed had put the voice out one channel and the sound effects out the other channel. So sometimes, depending on how the setup is listening, sometimes it can appear... Excuse me, that bread's repeating on me. A little quiet, but really, really good. Absolutely enjoyed that. I have to say, it did make me smile. And thank you. What a lovely thing. And even got my mate Nigel Cooper in, which was delightful. And I love the joke, cosy. There you go. So that's the challenge, ladies and gentlemen. That is the challenge. Can you make a How Did You Discover the Vobes video? How wonderful is that? That's very humbling, I have to say. Well done. Well done. Very cool. I'm very impressed with my bread. I'm going to stop talking about it in a minute when I've eaten it all. It was delicious. It was delicious. I am so thrilled. I shall make some more. I said to Julia, actually, I said, if my bread works, I shall make you a loaf. So I think I may have to do that. So, yeah, that's big thanks to John and Dawn, who sent the flour in for that, and to Gabriel, who also sent some flour, which is sitting on the back. You can't see it, just about there, which I will be utilising fairly soon. And I think Mark Donny McLeod said he bought his sacks for 25 quid, so 9 quid seems to be a bargain. Well, I may have to go over there and I need to see how many kilograms of flour you get for that, but it did seem quite good. Edo Vet asked an interesting question. I'm just trying to find Edo Vet. He says here, where are you, Ed? I've just lost you. Have you ever been to Castle Combe? A wonderful old church in that village. Also, the film Dr. Dolittle was shot there. Where's Castle Combe? The name rings a bell, but I can't place it. Is it in Scotland somewhere? I either knew to Castle Combe, or is it in Cumbria? It could be anywhere. Anyway, lots of contents there. At Home with Mindy says, first sound, Richard, when looking up Chichester. Everybody wants to look up Chichester. He's a nice bloke. Hello, what are you doing up there, Chichester? Oh, you mean the city of Chichester? Of course. How could I get that possibly wrong? Biddenden Tractor Fest, says Julia to Fiona. Do people find me from there? It is amazing how an interest. I'm always interested in how and where people sort of spot me, because you think, oh, I'll do more of that then to attract more people. But of course, you know, you never really do. You never really follow one particular line, because I do so many different things. A slate stone found all over England. It's the Kipling poem. Is the Kipling poem real? What's the title, please? I think the title is When the Gentlemen Go by Kipling. If you put that into Google, you'll soon find it. When the Gentlemen Go By, or Pass By, whatever it is, by Kipling. Or if you just put The Smuggler's Poem by Kipling, you'll also get it. It's a very, very well known. Castle Combe is in the Cotswolds, says Barry. Oh, is it? So, the renew is totally inappropriate. Castle Combe must go there. I thought the name rang a bell. I've been through the Cotswolds, and we did do some filming there. In fact, I went there on my 50th birthday. I know, I don't look 50. I know, thanks. I look 75. Yeah, so I must go there. Castle Combe is a village in the civil parish in the Cotswold area, says Josephine Souter, of natural beauty in Wiltshire, England. The castle lies 5 miles northwest of Chippenham. Well, I must go to Chippenham and off the old Blockenham, which is next door. Chippenham and off the old Blockenham, lovely part of the Weldenham. So I must go there. Whatever happened to Jeff Mahoney, says Ian Beddoes. Oh, I had a chat with Jeff the other day. Yeah, he's all good. He's fine. But I don't think he's... He doesn't watch the old Vobes now. I think the Vobes is sort of, he's worn out. He's been worn out by the Vobes. He's got other interests in his life. Edovet says it's in southern England somewhere as part of my tour 9 years ago. Oh, yes. Probably on the old American bus route. The Cotswolds, of course, that's where people, you come over to England and you go and do a bit of London. You nip over to the Cotswolds and all of that. Make it and they will come, Richard, says Mark Donny MacLeod. Yes. Called A Smuggler's Song, Ed Loud. Oh, there we go. And Andrew Murphy. Hello, Andrew Murphy. A walk around Midhurst. I was looking for video clips on Midhurst Transmitter at the time, as you do. And I popped up, probably stalking around on whatever the name of the hill is up there. Anne's Hill, is it? With the Kevin went up there fairly recently, and I've been up there. The manor house, the ruins of the manor house, and then of course the Cowdrey estate. David Kill says I first saw him looking at videos for Petworth. Left a comment on the video just before the Bald Explorer got going. Well, thank you very much, David. There you go. How about that? Barbara Charles was thinking I was thinking of Castle Carey. That's another nice place. And Michael Angel says first time I saw the Vobes is when he did the video about the gibbet. Oh yes, presumably that's the gibbet, because I did two about gibbets. One is over in near Wivelsfield, but I think the one you mean is probably the one near Burpham, which you can go to with the sign that says 1771, but it's got a cross near it, and everybody thinks it says 1774. So there we go. Let's go and have a look at another video. What have we got here? We've done Wilf. We've got... Oh, yes. Let's... IB has been out filming bats. We know he's a batty bloke, and I don't want anyone to go, no, he hasn't. Because he has. Look. There we go. How about that? Sorry, I had the sound down. Lots of bats there. Well done, IB. I remember once going on a bat hunting thing with a bloke, and I recorded a podcast. You probably remember it because you listened to the old Vobe show back in the old days, and the pipistrelle and various other things. Pippi Longstocking Strel, I think, was one of them. Can't remember the others. Pinky and Perky. No, they were pigs. Not flying pigs either, in actual fact. Yeah, and that was interesting because we went there and they had these the same sort of boxes that you see the ghost hunters using. I don't know which one is whether the ghost hunters are looking for bats or the bat people are looking for ghosts. But either way, it was all quite spooky. We had to go at night time. But I did an interview. I might have to find that again and put it up on the for the patrons list as a podcast or whatever. Yes, St. Anne's Hill. Thank you very much, Josephine. That's marvellous. We're still looking forward to your Bald Explorer takeoff video, which we hope will come in. Tracy Murphy says, we saw a bat near Burton Mill at dusk. One with big fangs, size of a human, was sucking the blood out of some maiden. Oh, gosh. And that was near Burton Mill. Remind me not to go near there at night then, because, you can see all sorts of people with all white and shimmering. Mind you, it tends to be the miller because he's covered in flour. Making fabulous bread. Did I tell you I've made some of my own bread and it tastes rather delicious? Did I mention that? Should have done. Should have mentioned how lovely this bread is. And, I'm just so happy. Barry Stevens says, love bats flapping about the garden. They can't get caught in your hair like some believe. Thanks for the video. Charlie Cooper says, I first found out about Richard when I typed into YouTube walks around Portsmouth. Oh, I must remember that. And a video of him and TLJ wandering around the harbour. That was, Julia was taking me around her neck of the woods, and she was very knowledgeable about it too. Mike Dixon says, while we were watching the show, I've been looking online to buy a bat detector or a bat app for my mobile phone. Be careful you get the right one, because you may get some vampires or haunted things. Steve Garnett says, beautiful. Bats in the twilight reminds me of walks with my dad as a child in the farms around Canterbury. Yes, I think Canterbury, they're all right there because of the monks and all of that. But if you venture out of Canterbury, make sure you've got all the garlic around you, just in case. And Andy Dalglee says, first saw your video at Tevill Gate, Richard. I thought it was brilliant that such an interesting documentary could be made about something so mundane. Been with you ever since. Thank you, Andy. I remember the day vividly. It was a mucky old grey day and there was a bit of wet in the air. It was just dull slate-like. Everyone's talking about where you buy slate. And I was desperate for a video for the next day and I had no idea what to do. And I thought, do you know what? I'll walk around Tevill Gate. And normally the places I go to, I'm always bigging them up and saying, oh, isn't it marvellous? Look at this lovely old timber frame house. Look at this Georgian property. Look at this beautiful vista. How about these marvellous oak trees or whatever it is? And on this occasion, I just said, oh, this is a dump. What a horrible dump. Imagine this eyesore being on your doorstep, or words to that effect, And I did a mathematical leap of faith and got it wrong. And I put it on Facebook, and it was one of the biggest amount of replies and views I got, because people were shoving it round, going, hey, have you looked at this bloke talking about Tevill Gate? It was amazing, actually. Quite a lot of people discovered me through that. Pinky and Perky ended up in a transport cafe just off the M1. Yeah, so I think a version of Pinky and Perky has ended up in my essay many a time, actually, as sausages. Ron Lang says, first time I watched The Bald Explorer when I was looking for something local, and Richard appeared in a walking video, and since then we've been hooked. It's amazing, isn't it? Do you know, so it's, very kind of you to say this and all of that. It is quite humbling, really, because I would like to know, and this isn't a question I don't think anybody can answer, because I've asked this many times, what is it? What is it that one does that makes people hooked? Because when I watch other people, I just think they do it so well. And I look at myself and I think, I wish I could do it better. Always wanting to do it better. But hey, David Sargent says, first time I saw Richard was on the Wide Water video. Mystic Hare says, I saw the Vobes on BETV back in 2014. Blimey. And Ed Loud said he'd watched Snug and Cozy when he was growing up. That is incredible. Paul Smith says, first time on the BE, a video that Matt Holdsworth posted in Memories of Dorking Face Group. Thanks to Matthew Holdsworth. At the same time, wasn't sure if this is the Bald Explorer, as they both look roughly had the same haircut. Yeah, it's easy to mistake us. And Jeff Kellison says, the first one I saw with this was when he was dressed like an alien and interviewing people. Oh yes, that was a pitch for a television series I wanted to do, and had a green face, and I utilised the old snug and cosy costumes. So there. If I found you, says Andrew Norris via Mark English. He was filming in my neck of the woods in Beddington, and then I got a recommendation to the BE. Oh, marvellous. And Mike Stevens says the simple answer, it's you. Yes, that doesn't really help though, does it? That's just, enthusiasm, knowledge of beautiful scenery, easily hooks. Well, that's very kind. Okay, well, let's... And Julia says the ice house at Lancing Manor was what caught her attention. Thank you very much for that. I think we'll get off the subject of me very quickly. And Barry, let's find out what Barry and Faden are up to. Because Barry and Faden, remember, Faden has a challenge. The challenge is to find a challenge for me. And I'm rather nervous about the challenge that he might give me. So we will see what it is. But where are they? They are in near Winchester at St. Catherine's Hill, somewhere I have been before. It's a lovely place, but let's see how they go about clambering up to the top.
Hello Richard and everyone. We are currently at the bottom of St. Catherine's Hill in Hampshire near Winchester. Just going to start a walk. Here's Faden.
Hello Richard and all. I'm still trying to think of Richard's challenge.
I'm sure he'll figure out one by the end. Anyway, I'll just show you where I am. I'll get back to you in a second. I just thought I'd show you this. It's the River Itchen, who runs at the base of the hill. Anyway, get back to you soon. I think this is the River Itchen. I don't know what the other river was then. This is a bigger river. It doesn't come from that direction of the river we were just at. I just thought I'd show you this. Bye bye.
We're at the start of the climb of St. Catherine's Hill.
We are. We're just walking through the tunnel that leads to the Kissing Gates that starts the climb.
Yep. It says there as well.
By the way, this is a Iron Age hill fort. So it goes back a long way. Faden, by the way, has thought of a challenge for Richard, so we'll tell you about that at the end. Get back to you in a moment.
There is nice views and Winchester, as you can see, Winchester Cathedral is just over there.
Yeah, just like to show you these views. This is not all the way up. It's only a fraction of the way up.
And this is also like...
There's the cathedral over there. I can't zoom in because I have steady on. I was experimenting with a setting on my phone.
And also, the views will be way better when we get more.
They will. We'll see you at the top. I'd just like to show you this church in the distance. I'm really annoyed that I can't zoom in. I won't use that setting again. It's a lovely church over there.
There's also a little bit of, there's a row of houses over there as well.
Okay, I'd just like to show you this. It's these beech trees, this like section of beech trees was basically planted in the position that St. Catherine's chapel would have been, which I don't think there's any remains of it. This place is amazing. I thought I'd been here before, but I haven't. I can't believe I've never been here. I'll definitely be back. It's lovely. Oh, this is one of the more interesting parts of the top of the hill. It's called a zig maze. It looks like it's ancient, but it was not. I think it was done in about 1625. It's quite interesting though.
Yep. I don't know really if it's
Like some modern people have added to that.
Yeah. I don't know if people...
It's fairly large.
I don't know if people... I don't know if this is actually like a proper maze that you can like do.
No, it's not like a normal maze. Anyway, we'll get back to you when we're on the other side of the hill to see the views from the other side. Right, we're going to leave the video here. It's a shame I can't zoom in again. You can actually see Basingstoke in the distance, and you can see the
motorway.
The motorway, the M3 there. And Faden just wants to say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. And I've decided on Richard's challenge as well. It is either a egg splattered on the head or 10 marshmallows in the mouth.
Yeah, so Richard, your challenge has been set. You have a choice of 10 marshmallows in the mouth or an egg splat on your head.
Anyway, goodbye Richard and all.
Goodbye, take care.
10 marshmallows or crack an egg on my head. That's charming, that is. Well, I'm tempted to do the marshmallows, but I'm also tempted to do the crack on the head because with an egg. Can it be a hard-boiled egg? Is that permitted? That would be all right. Doink. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, I will have to try and organise that. I will make sure I do that this week. Maybe tomorrow. May not be. I need to make sure that the hot water is hot so I can go and have a bath if I crack an egg on my head. Dear, oh dear. But very lovely. Thank you, Faden. Thanks for that, you swine. You little cheeky monkey. Yeah, lovely up there. Absolutely lovely. Beautiful and great scenery. And we're so lucky with the weather, haven't we? We've just been so lucky with this continual weather. These shows would be so miserable if people had gone, I'm not going out because in the pouring rain. But there we are. How about that? Connor's Dark Corner said, have I still got the Snug and Cozy suits? We made the series in 1996 and 1997. And yes, I still have. They are well perished. They're made out of PVC. And they're very perished. I need to chuck them. There's a whole load of costumes hanging up, on the rail. And I do need to throw them away. But they do have a certain amount of sentimental value. And I have reutilised them several times. 2 years ago, I did a live show. Not a live show like this, but a theatre show. I did a theatre show, an invited audience. The lovely Julia came along, actually, 2 years ago. And I did dress up as Snug in that when I was reliving the story of Snug and Cozy. But... yeah, though that is the correct answer. Chaz said, "How about hard boiling the egg before you did it?" Oh, there you go. Just watch Snug and Cozy. You look so young, Richard. Yes, I was young. It was 1996. I didn't feel particularly young at the time. I would love to bring back Snug and Cozy, and I don't know whether Nigel would want to do that. I know he's had trouble with his knees over recent times, so he may not be as flexible as all that, but even if it would be great to bring back Snug, who gets beamed back onto the earth. Cozy, I'm on my own now. Oh dear. We could still run around and cause chaos and mayhem and make a sort of children's television. But I haven't got time. I haven't got time to do it. I'd love to. So many things I want to do. So many things and never enough time. But it would be fun running amok in England and all of that. Fun-sized marshmallow, says Barry Stevens. Yeah, I mean, a marshmallow would be the easy option. I feel like an egg bang on the head would be visually more fun for everybody to watch. So it may well be that. I may take that challenge up. Doink! And then, let it dribble throughout the show. Quite like all that. Julia Hartley says, Linda, you watched Snug and Cozy during the Vobes show, or even the Vines show, and told us about it. Prepare for a rant. Oh, I don't mind. She still watched a bit of me. He didn't specify the type of egg. Oh, yes. Maybe a Cadbury's cream egg. Could I do that? Oh, no, that would be even stickier. Yes, a quail egg. That would be good. Fantastic. During the Vobes show, says Julia. You can't do that. Nigel's comedy smuggler now, Oh, yes, that's true. That's very true. The phone lines, let's go back to the phones in case somebody wants to ring in. Sorry, I've neglected. Hang on, what am I doing here? Just tackling the special Vobe vision generator. The phone line is still open, 0793 4746790 if you care to give us a call. Connor's Dark Thing says, if you really want to get rid of them, I would love to learn, or I'd love to have them. I would have them on display in my home museum. Oh my God, how freaky is that? That's quite weird. That is quite weird. An ostrich egg, yeah, thanks. An ostrich egg, yeah, thanks, Michael. Might as well make it a dinosaur egg, a brontosaurus egg, which is, I think, that big. Yeah. I'll have to think about that. What I do, I see how perished they are. There's this little plastic thing with their stars and bits. There's bits and pieces of the suit. It would be quite freaky. Ostrich eggs. Yes, thanks. Do give us a call 0793 474 if you have something to chat or just want to have a chinwag or just going to brave it. Never rung in before. You don't have to have a subject. I can ask you some questions. We can just have a 2-5 minute chit chat about any subject under the sun. You don't need to be too brave. You just need to pick up the phone. But I'm not going to beg you to do that because we do have a couple more videos in the Visor trove. Linda says, "Phew, thought my brain had finally died." What do you mean, thought your brain had finally died? What's the matter, Linda? What is the matter? Let's have a look. See, we'll get through some more of these videos that we've got. Thank you so much for making them, by the way. It's really, really good. We've had that. No, so we've got Gabriel and Adrian. 2 videos to go. Let's. We left Gabriel till the end last night's show, so we can't do that this time. Oh yes, this. Oh, hang on. We do have a phone call. Look at that. Look at that. Somebody has called in. Somebody's called in. Let's find out who that is. Hello, caller.
Oh, good evening, sir.
Hello to you. How are you?
All right. I was looking at your bread and thinking, do you know, I've seen bread like that.
Oh,
We
dear.
used to put it on trays and send it out to Morrison's every week.
Oh, is it not to your taste then, Mr. Mark Donny McLeod? I
I think it's wonderful.
was so proud to make a loaf of bread that looks to me like a loaf of bread.
Mm.
So, all right, go on then. What's wrong with it?
Oh, nothing. No, it looks very good. Yeah, it looks very good. Hang on a minute. I'm going to turn the sound off and I can carry on watching the show.
Yes. What do you mean,
Yes,
carry on watching the
that's
show? You mean carry on having a conversation, don't you mean?
I can carry on having a conversation and watch the show at the same time.
And be
Did you just press the Vobes show box for videos?
Well, I was just doing it because I didn't think anyone was going to ring. And I don't, I don't like to give people too long because otherwise it looks like I'm sitting there begging for people to ring me like I'm a lonely old geezer.
God, please
Please ring
the
me.
Vobes.
Please, I have nothing better to do. So, yeah, no, go on. So,
Yeah.
you've obviously got a thing about my loaf of bread. To me, I'm chuffed.
I thought like when you brought this loaf of bread out, and I thought that looks familiar. We used to send it to Morrison's every week. And
what you're
and
saying?
the next thing I thought, oh, I know what it is. He's going to announce that he's in Pinocchio for the summer season in Worthing.
You thought you thought I'd actually bought it.
Ah, yes.
No, but I didn't. And it's absolutely true that I have made this myself. And because now you're going, yeah, right. But it doesn't. The thing is, it doesn't actually matter because I know and I can replicate it.
Ah.
Well, I hope
now
so.
There's a challenge, isn't there?
Yeah, I can replicate it on video.
Yes.
The reason it looks like it came from Morrison's is because it's actually a Tesco's recipe. And it's a Tesco's recipe because it's obviously they bunged out on the website, and what they said was, they gave you a list of the shopping ingredients, and of course they had this fast-acting yeast or something that they called it, and you used 7 grams of fun. I had no idea. So I just used the yeast that I had, which was just said yeast. I thought, well, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
They had a teaspoon of caster sugar.
Yeah.
They didn't have any.
And it all takes off on its own, you see, because the thing is, yeast needs to be fed. It's a bacteria. Right?
Yeah.
But it's a nice bacteria.
Nice one, nice.
It's a nice bacteria. It's one of the bacteria that are nice for us.
Yeah.
And what they have to, it has to feed. So we feed it nice tepid water, not hot, not cold.
Yeah.
Well, you can use cold, doesn't really matter actually. But it needs to be fed. And once that's reactivated and it wakes up, and it starts munching the sugar, then it starts giving off the froth, you see, the CO2.
Right.
And that's why it goes all frothy and lifts up and all that stuff. God, the lines are for the the light coming off your head.
The light coming off my head.
Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, it's this thing that the yeast has to be fully alive.
Yes.
That's what makes the bread nice and big. You see.
Yes.
And blow up. Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when I was younger and learning to make bread, and the old boy who taught me, I was about 14 then. And this old boy that taught me how to make bread, you put this in here, you put that in there, blah, 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 blah. And he went through the whole thing. And I couldn't understand him. First of all, we were Welsh.
Right.
I was probably understanding his accent. And the other thing was that he went so fast. And I learned by watching the other guy across the table from me. And watch what he was doing, and got it. And eventually, all the bread made there was handmade bread.
Yes.
Because it said on the shop outside, handmade bread. So it's so you can't, even in those days, it was deemed naughty, to say that and then go and make it in a factory.
Yes.
As I got older, jobs changed. I worked in a bakery where you're sending out 250,000 loaves a day.
A 250,000. Yes. Well, I would struggle to do that myself. Struggle.
Well, the only thing people do is watch it go past on a conveyor belt.
Yes. Yes.
So
Well,
stuff is dropped automatically.
This
into,
genuinely
this
genuinely was made by me, and I absolutely loved the kneading process. And I was doing this and this. Oh, you can't see that, but you'll see it in a few minutes.
I'll see it in a minute.
Yeah. And I'm beating this up now. Didn't do the juggling act that I did before. Didn't do that.
Now I think that could be key. Without the juggling act and the football thing, I think that could be key.
The thing about the before was the yeast was dead. It didn't. And so we got rid of that.
Yeah, that's right. So that's no good, is it?
2 loaves.
You can't have dead yeast.
No.
You can't make bread with dead yeast.
No, I've learnt that the hard way. So two loaves made out of that yeast, which I didn't know was dead. That was why it just didn't rise at all. And I still baked it, and I still ate it.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. What you can do if you get situations like that, what I do if I ever have any problems like that kind of thing, that's when I get the grater thingy, put it into my chef machine.
Yes.
Cut the piece of bread so they slot down the little shoot thing.
Yes.
And just make breadcrumbs.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Now, Julia's got a brilliant suggestion. I'm going to leave you to tell us a poem. Do you know any poems?
Oh, poems. Poems?
No. Well,
poems.
Poems. I'm going to go and get the tin. Because Julia's just said, show us the tin that it sits in and see if it will sit in the tin in the way that I cooked it. Then that will prove that it's mine in theory. But,
it will do, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
So just stay. Yes. I'm going to go now. I'm going to get the tin.
Going now.
That it was cooked in.
We would like to tell you, while watching the Vobes here, that the tin that the bread was baked in
and I'm back.
is about to be presented. And he's back.
Yes, I had to hunt round. Had to hunt round for a suitable tin that it was cooked in. So
a suitable tin.
A suitable tin.
Not the one.
Anyone, one that it fits. So I'm showing the tin now, which is a rust. I have to say this one is that rusty tin. But what I didn't do is use the tin itself. I've used this baking paper.
Ah, I see. Inside the tin.
Inside the tin, and that works really well. And I've used the same bit of baking paper a couple of times now. And here, ladies and gentlemen, let me just put my webcam on so that people can see. Oh, no.
I got told off by Julia. Oh, I've seen it in the tin already. Actually hurts me that folks don't believe. Well,
It's fine if people don't believe. I'm here we go. So there's the tin, and here's the bread that
it was all decided.
Oh dear, doesn't go in. I wonder why that is. What a shame. Oh, wait.
I can see you going off to get the tin now.
Oh, yes, it does go in. Look at that. And you can't see it. And there's enough room for Where's the crust end? That's the crusty end there.
Oh, that's quite good because your paper didn't. Oh, you just got a bit of paper towel in there, have you?
It's just baking paper doubled over.
Oh, right, okay. Because when I do that with mine, you see, when it comes out the oven, it's burnt.
Oh, well, I'll give you a couple of good tips on how to do it, shall I, Mark?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, very good. He says. The apprentice. They think they know everything. They cook one loaf and they think they're experts.
I just saw a Canadian bloke.
Oh yeah, sorry about I pressed the wrong bloody button. It's coming up. You'll see it.
So, Tin vision.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit weird because everybody else is seeing. Well, I don't know whether other people are seeing it at the same time as me. It's all a bit crazy.
Yeah, snug and crusty.
Snug and crusty. Ghost is back. Oh yes. There's so many skeptics out there, says Andrew Norris. Well, I never. I believe you. Snug and crusty. Parchment baking paper is great, says speechwriter. We believed him.
No. You see, I'm a cynic.
I don't blame you to be a cynic. The only pack of lies that I have mentioned, well, I probably mentioned many packs of lies, but knowingly on the show that I didn't follow up or do much more with was that there was a fun fair round the corner. I mentioned it on a couple of shows and I just sort of let it hang there. I think only Linda Kane really noticed and thought, a fun fair? During the COVID outbreak, I just thought that would be quite funny. But nobody really didn't really set anybody on fire, so I just thought I'd drop that. I am a bit cheeky.
You should have dropped it back in again.
I should have said, the fun fair, they packed up now. They seem to be packed. Hey-ho. But there we go.
I think I should let you go.
Yes, okay. Well,
and get on with the Verb Show, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
And we shall see what else we can come up with.
Yes, I've got to make some scones, but I didn't have any proper shot.
Scones? See, this is the thing. Scones are scones.
What do you say?
When I was younger, I would say scones. Since I moved up north, I say scones.
Well, I'll say whatever it is.
For the other reason is because the reason they say scones up here is because when they're gone on the plate, it's gone.
Yes. Very good. Oh, it's always a joy having you on the show, Mark. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye.
Look after yourself.
Take care, Vobes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, there we go. It's always nice to have a skeptic. And on this particular occasion, I could actually show myself for doing it. So how about that? God, the chances of finding a tin that actually finds the loaf was hard work, actually. I mean, I had to go through several different tins. And in fact, I took the tin into Morrison's when I was measuring up. No, of course, I cooked that. I baked it. I baked it myself. Goodness sake, I don't know. Right, let's have a look. What are we going to do? It was Gabriel. Yes, do you like tractors? Gabriel likes tractors. He loves them so much that he took his drone out and filmed some tractors. Now, I should just point out, the beginning of the video is all in the dark. I'm not quite sure why, but we get a bit of music, and then we get to see the lovely tractors. Gabriel from Glastonbury, take it away. Of course, you need tractors to harvest the wheat so that you can make bread. Oh, it's lovely. I noticed Dean Cooper mentions Tales of Old Sussex by Philip Mercer. That's a good book. 1837. There is a modern version by Josephine somebody or other. I think it is. Not Josephine Suter out there, by somebody else. Which is okay. It's a bit lame compared to the Philip Mercer book, which is huge tome, massive tome, about that thick, in numerous volumes. Actually, I really ought to do some of the other tales from it. Nobody else seems to be able to get hold of a copy, which is a bit strange. I had it on my shelf about 10 years ago and discovered it last year or the year before. Started to do some of the tales about it. It's quite interesting. Very interesting stories, unusual stories that people had never heard of before, which is a bit weird. But anyway, very nice, lovely filming, well done. It was great. All that silage making, that's how they do it, isn't it? It's incredible stuff. Anyway, thank you for that. Nice bit of bread, bread of heaven. Whew. And I think we'll get on and do the last video of the day, because time is ticking away. So now, thank you so much to our lovely friend Adrian, TurboStream. Is TurboStream still out there? And this is very enchanting. And you know, I'm just trying to remember what it was. Where are you, TurboStream? Oh yes, the Pembrokeshire coast. That's right, Pembrokeshire coast. Have you been to? I've been to the Pembrokeshire coast. It is lovely, and this sums it up very beautifully. Lovely. This is, I think, in 2015 that he filmed this. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you very much, Adrian, for sending it in. Let's transport ourselves to Pembrokeshire in Wales. Yeah, that's right, Gabriel. Yeah, no, absolutely. I baked it myself. I'll tell you exactly how I did it. You see, you get 500 grams of flour, which is approximately equivalent to 3 mugfuls. If you just fill up them... Yeah, no. You what? You want to learn? Well, you listen to me. I mean, I spoke to this bloke called Mark... Mark somebody, I can't remember. He calls himself a baker, I think. But, I mean, I've been doing this. This is my 6th loaf, don't you know? And, yes, I know exactly how to make bread now. I'm going to give up all this video malarkey. And that's right, Gabriel Millmucker. Yeah, no, I'm going to give it all up and become a baker. I think there's a huge demand for a sort of a Vobes bread. Yeah, I think so. Oh, hang on, the video's gone. I'll have to get back to you. Yeah, cheers. Bye-bye. That was Gabriel on the phone. He had to dive out for 5 minutes, and he was absolutely amazed when he saw my bread. Anyway, that was a wonderful turbo stream. Thank you so much, Adrian. Wonderful to see that. Did take me back to the days when I was... I used to go down to Pembrokeshire on corporate video jobs and stay in these dodgy old hotels they put me in. Well, actually, I lied, actually. I must say, they put me in... there's a hotel, St. Bride's. St. Bride's, it's a spa. It was a very expensive hotel. There's me saying it was a dodgy one. It was a very expensive hotel, and you could walk around down there in South Pembrokeshire. It's beautiful. Lovely old castles, ruins of castles all round there, which is very good. Stephen Garnett says, what camera did you use? Is it one of those cameras that records video? So there we go. Lovely video. That was lovely. Aren't we lucky to live in such a beautiful and diverse country, says Audrey. We certainly are. Would love to go there. Never been to Pembrokeshire, says Judith. It is well worth going. I mean, it's a bit of a slog in the old car to get all the way down there, get past Carmarthen and keep going south. It's beautiful. And I went down to St. David's with my son Stanley, my eldest son, a few years ago, and we had an Airbnb down there, and we walked along the edge of the coast with the big rocks. It was absolutely superb. Must go back there. St. David, the smallest city, I think. Josephine Salter says, The Bull Baker. The Bull Baker, that's the new TV series, The Bull Baker. Barbara Charles says, you would think he made a baby and not a loaf of bread. I have given birth to bread. Is there no end to it, they say. We're sitting here wasting our lives watching this idiot talking about the bread he's made. If only he was making bread, as in bit of money, it might be a bit more interesting. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Yes, sorry, Mark. I'm sorry, Mark. These apprentices, you know what they're like. They make one loaf and they think they know it all. Ah, yes, absolutely. My next loaf, I'm sure, will be an absolutely mitigated disaster. Don't worry. I'm counting. I'm celebrating the fact that I've done it, and it may all be wrong after that. I never remember exactly how I did it. But bitten by the bug. Bitten by the bug. Can't wait to make some more. Hey, I'll have so many loaves of bread that I will be. In fact, I may make them in the shape of a head with glasses. And flog them on the show. Yes, there you go. Could be an outrageous thing to do. Anyway, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 9:30. It's been a great show. Wonderful to have your company with me. Thank you so much. Great stuff. We will do this all again tomorrow. This must have been show 34, show 35, since the lockdown. It'll be interesting to see what Boris says now that Boris is back. Will he be taking the briefing? That would be interesting, won't it? Anyway, look after yourself. Stay safe. Thank you for doing the videos. If you'd like to send a video in, all the information is on how to do it in the description. We will talk again, hopefully tomorrow. If you haven't called in, do call in next time. But from me, here in jolly old Worthing, big thank you. Look after yourself. Stay safe. Keep smiling, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ta-ta for now. And remember the video in the morning, The Bald Explorer, I'm on the search for bluebells. Yes, ding dong. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Well, I think I managed to get away with it. How amazing that loaf just fits in that tin. I don't know, they'll believe anything.